Hi everyone, today I'm going to share with you the content of the Upcrate box number 44 that Upcrate kindly sent me. So let's jump right into it. I think we've got an escapee. Let's see. We've got the Bottle Post magazine that talks about the supplies, how to use them, and features some artists as well. Here we've got either some watercolor paper, or I would say maybe some mixed media paper. Feels pretty thick. And we have a beautiful print by Ludwig, I think, who is the artist of the month. As well as some beautiful stickers with her artwork on it. And a HelloFresh introductory coupon. And now for the rest of the supplies. So that's a Spectrum Noir metallic double-ended marker with a fine nib and a brush. We've got 3 Art Space alcohol markers. Beautiful colors that would look very nice with this one, with a brush on one end and a chisel on the other end. They kind of feel like a Copic sketch marker. Then we have a small round brush, number 0. A Tombow, I wonder if it's a Fudenosuke. We've got one side that's black, and it's a plastic nib. And one that's gray. And then, oh my goodness, an Art Space watercolor set with 12 colors in it. Wow. So we get 12 half pans. Ooh, I can't wait to swatch those. Although I might have to use a bigger brush, but we'll see. That's a really nice box. So with Upcrate, there is always a challenge to use the all the supplies to create something, and it's called the Upcrate Battle. And the theme of the month of April, yeah, it's the April box, is thinking about the future. So anyways, I'm gonna swatch everything and then I'll try to think about what I can paint with all the supplies. Alright, so it's time for the swatches, but before I started, I decided to remove all the half pans from the palette to put them in the order that I liked better. So I bent the little metal pieces on each side of the palette and it loosened the plastic half pans. I put them all on my table and tried to arrange them the way I thought they would be. I made a couple mistakes sometimes when the colors look really dark on the palettes. It's hard to identify what color they are. Also, for the swatches, I did not use the paper that came with the box because it's Saunders Waterford hard press paper. It's 140 pounds and 100% cotton. It's really good quality paper, and I didn't want to waste it just to do swatches. So I used another watercolor paper that I have just for swatches. And I must say I was blown away by the pigmentation of these colors. I didn't expect Art Space to have such bright colors. The watercolors flowed very well on the paper. I was impressed. And even when they dried, they still look really bright. So I'm super excited about that. Once I was done with the swatches, I was able to put the pans in the order I liked. And I did more swatches just to keep it in my palette. I like to have swatches of what's in the palettes. Then I swatched the Art Space alcohol markers, and once again I was just amazed by the quality. The brush is really nice. The chisel works very well. Sometimes chisels on super even and it might be tricky to color with them, but I didn't have any problem with any of those 3 markers. The colors are very pretty. They blend very well too. So I was really pleased. The Spectrum Noir metallic marker is very juicy, very nice. It doesn't shine very much on white paper. I haven't tried it on black paper, but I would think it would work better that way. And one thing is, I don't see it mentioned in the Bottle Post magazine, so I'm wondering if it was put in the box by mistake. Regardless, I'm going to use it for my challenge because it was in the box. The small brush works really well, and the Tombow Fude no Suke is really nice too. The brush nibs are really nice and juicy, and I like that there are 2 different colors. So the theme for the Upcrate battle is thinking about the future, and at the risk of being cliche, I am being cliche, but you know, children are our future. I'd say to draw a portrait of a kid. I really wanted to do a portrait, so I think that was a good excuse. Now I wanted to use all the supplies and not just a little bit here and there. And with the paper that I used for the swatches for the alcohol markers, it looked like the yellow marker was light enough that I might be able to use it as a base for the skin. So I decided to try, and that was a big mistake. A really big mistake. To my horror, it just was a really strong yellow. So I didn't know what to do. Should I restart it? Or should I just go for it? And I decided to just go for it and try to fix my mistake. I was gonna add watercolor on top of it and see what happens. The face was ugly for a good long while, but as I was working on it, I started to get used to it. Also, for a good amount of the painting, I used a bigger brush because it would have taken me forever with a small brush, and I would have been very frustrated. I did use the small one for finer details though. I used one of the markers also for the base of the hat, and then after that it was watercolor for a good while. I really like the paper. I'm kind of scared to use hot press paper because I'm not super familiar with it, and I was afraid of leaving some streaks because it doesn't absorb the paint the same way as cold press does. But since I had already messed it up from the get-go, I figured, you know, let's keep going and see what happens. And then I used a Tombow pen to line pretty much everything. And I think at that point it was actually a great idea because it tied everything together and made the painting a bit more graphic. I used the metallic marker on the hat for the shadows, and in the end I didn't really mind my little Lego boy. It looks like a little Lego person. A little minifigure. It's kind of similar color, similar yellow. But you know, I think it kind of looks cool that way anyways. It was a great experiment, and I saw that it's quite nice to use a marker as a base and then adding watercolor on top of it to add the shadows. It's when you actually use the right colors, obviously. Yeah, it's a nice way to use mixed media, and I'm probably gonna try again. I think I could have added some highlights on the skin with colored pencils too, to make it less yellow, but it was not an item in the box, so I skipped it, but that's something to keep in mind. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, Upcrate, for sending me another box. I always have fun with them. This was a particularly good one. I mean, the supplies that came with it were really good. And one more thing, I need to applaud Upcrate for putting the right paper. It's hard to curate a box with a variety of supplies and have a surface that fits all the supplies that came with it. So this paper works very well with everything that was in the box, whether it's the markers, the watercolor, or the fine liner. It took everything very, very nicely, so good job with that. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to support this channel and you are feeling extra generous, you can always click on the thanks button right next to the share button. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you soon with another video. Bye bye.